So today I'll talk about Noah's Ark and especially answer the questions such as were dinosaurs on Noah's Ark? Let's find out, okay? So most of us have seen various depictions of Noah's Ark, including the ones in children's nurseries with the giraffe's head sticking out the top. Like this or like this. Which one of these drawings correctly depicts the ark that is described in the Bible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which? Okay, put your answer. So yeah, number 4. Because the number 1, 3, and 5 are close to those in children's nurseries, right? Number 6 is from the Epic of Gilgamesh, in which the ark is cube-like. What will happen then? It easily roar all the time, and you imagine you are inside of the ark for 375 days, right? Number 2 is close to the ark description in the Bible, but it looks a bit too small. So the ark described in the Bible looks more like the number 4. And I think everybody got 100. Okay. All right. I want to try a little harder questions next time, okay? Harder quizzes. Okay, regarding the ark design, those unbelievers or theistic evolutionists, you go to church and you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, but you believe the evolution and long age, billions of years, Big Bang and evolution, right? And often say Moses might have copied the flood story and as well as the ark design from elsewhere, such as the Epic of Gilgamesh. But note that the ark described in the Epic of Gilgamesh is a cube shape, as I said before, right? And which doesn't really work to protect the Noah's family as well as the thousands of animals inside when the whole thing roar all the time, right? And another thing is in the Epic of Gilgamesh, the flooding lasted only for 6 days, as opposed to 371 days of global flooding described in the Bible. And you know that the Gilgamesh arc doesn't add up, the story doesn't add up, right? That's very, very clear. Okay, the Bible clearly describes the shape and dimension of the ark. According to Genesis 6:15, the ark was 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. A cubit is typically considered to be the length from a man's fingertip to the elbow. Okay. So according to the Genesis 6:14 to 16, the ark in Hebrew it's tebah. Okay, the ark was made from gopher wood. It had nests inside, and it was covered with a pitch-like substance inside and out. And surprisingly, the 4,400 years old ark has the same proportions as a modern cargo ship. Can you believe that? So how do you explain that? And in fact, there was a detailed experimental study at a ship research center in South Korea in 1993, and the research team compared 12 hulls of HULLS, okay, how do I pronounce hull, right? 12 hulls of different proportions to discover which design was the most practical. And guess what? No hull shape was found to outperform the ark design. The proportions of Noah's ark balance the conflicting demand of stability. You see the cursor here, and the comfort and strength. Isn't it amazing? To me, this is evidence that the ark design truly came from God to Moses. I believe that God showed Moses a detailed blueprint as well as the instruction to build the ark. All right. Now, when the flood started, Noah was 600 years old, according to Genesis 7:11. Okay. Really? Okay, so here's a question again. Did people like Adam and Noah really live over 900 years of age? Or as some people speculate, maybe that those verses in the Bible about 900 years maybe just was about actually not year, but months. So actually they lived 90 something month, 900 something month, okay, instead of year. And really? What do you guys think? Well, anyone can unmute and share your thought. One person unmute. Anyone? What do you guys think? No one?
I think it's both belief and also sorry.
Say that again, please.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Oh, thanks. I think it's both belief and also my ignorance on back then how good the environment is.
Oh,
So the
okay.
food and everything.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I would say well, it's just basic logic. I don't know if I'm right, but like nowadays we just see that life expectancy just keep on falling and falling, and then they have like less pollution, and that really affects us. So I would say it is possible, but I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you guys. That's a good thought. And actually, that issue will be briefly discussed next time. Okay, after the Noah's flood and Ice Age, Job, and then after that would be this issues related to race and speciation and this genetics. And then while we do that, we can explain that a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna do that next time. Maybe by a guest lecturer, maybe not me, maybe me. I don't know. Okay. Now, the Bible teaches, though, quite plainly, not sophisticated, it's quite plainly that the early patriarchs often lived to be nearly 1,000 years old, right? 960 years, Methuselah, right? So, in the following, the flood, however, as you guys also know, the Bible records a progressive decline in the lifespan. And it is also important, to note that this declination curve is exponential curve, which is known to be biological. Okay, so I'm not going to touch that topic today, but it is really look biological. Now, so this suggests, as you would agree, that something changed at the time of the flood. So flood, that's the time of the flood here. Or shortly after, such as during the Ice Age during this period. Okay, so this issue will be further discussed again in lectures 3 and 4. Okay, here is another quiz. So when God came to Noah and instructed him to build the ark, and Noah was 600 years old, right? How would Noah look like? Put your answer on the chat. So, and actually this is a multiple choice problem. Number 1, number 2, number 3, Russell Crowe, number 4, and number 5. Okay, so put your answer in the chat. 4 or 5. Oh, there is 1, 2. Thank you. At least, I need to see some diversity here. So 2. Okay. The answer would be, hold on. Do I get everything? Everyone's okay. So the answer would be 3, 4, or 5, or 5. 3, 4, and or 5. Because think about it. Noah lived for 950 years. So when he was 600 years old, he must have been looking like a middle-aged man. In today's standard, he would be like a 50 years old man. It's like look at me. I don't have this gray or white beard at all, right? So not like a great grandpa, the Noah 600-year-old great grandpa with a long white beard, right? It's not going to be like that. Now, imagine that you live for over 900 years. I have a PhD degree. as you guys know, right? And starting from the undergrad, it takes about 10 years to achieve it, as long as you don't give up. You don't need to be genius. You're an average person and you just don't give up. You keep going. In 10 years from college, freshman, 10 years, you'll get it. I mean, it could be 11, 12 years, but roughly around 10 years, right? Well, if you live for 900 years and assume you are healthy enough, and we can assume that's healthy because that's a pre-flood environment. And again, I'm not gonna touch that subject today too much here, but there's so many evidence and circumstantial evidence as well to assume that a pre-flood environment was much better than now. Okay, so considering all that, you live for 900 years and you're very healthy. You're not the 600-year-old man who is all the time sick and weak and can't really get up. No, very healthy. You have a lot of deep knowledge on every issues because you lived for 600 years, right? You may be able to obtain maybe 10 or more PhD degrees in different areas if you want, easily. Now, do you know what I'm trying to come across here? It is possible that those pre-flood patriarchs would have been highly intelligent and probably full of knowledge again. And remember that with such long lifespans, 900 years or so, right? Technology also could rapidly increase in 1600 years from Adam to the flood. Okay, so it's not going to be like that, 1 or 2. Okay, another important question. Did Noah build the ark alone? The genealogy in Genesis 5 lists the details of the age of each of Noah's ancestors. So you can estimate easily that there were over probably 1 billion people living on the earth at the time. So you can easily, assume that Noah could have hired people to help build the ark, and there is also a possibility that Noah had access to sophisticated technology to build the large ships. We must note that Noah's time had abundant resources. And steel technology had already been around ever since Tubal-Cain first got into working bronze, and iron, Genesis 4:22, Tubal-Cain, okay?